What's happening, people? Hope you're all well. Don't be too disappointed. Trust me, Lewis and Lawless are going to be with us. They're running late. They haven't been relegated to a different show. It's nothing like that. They are definitely going to be here, and we are going to cook them both. So trust me, it's going to be a good show. The three of us are very happy this weekend. I'll tell you this now. This has been a good weekend as far as myself, Dan United, as I call him, or Robbo, and Tobes.
Manny Dan.
All of us smiling, Manny Dan. All of us smiling, all of us happy. And the miserable ones will come on later. Tobes, what you saying, man? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. The Conte will just keep spinning. We keep going, man. We got a vital 3 points, and you know when you play first in the weekend, it can either make your weekend or it can break your weekend. If it goes negatively, you've got a horrible result, and then you have to basically watch your rivals either win or you pray that they don't win and they wallow in the same misery as you. But luckily we didn't disappoint, and we got off to a good start. So I just got to sit back for the rest of the weekend and just watch everything unfold. And I mean, listen, Sunday was explosive to say the least. So
100% it was, man. That's okay, man. No worries. I was. Do you know what? It's always nice, isn't it? And I mean, I hate Spurs, but when you play first, you win. You can sit back and chillax, and that's exactly what you did, man. And it was a wicked weekend of fun. Dan United, listen, man, listen. Dan United, you've got yourself back into a 3-pointer, bro. The smiling is back. You finally got ahead of Liverpool in the table. Who would have thought it, man? You must be buzzing.
Manny Dan, who would have thought it, man? Who would have thought it?
I'm telling you, you laughed when I said fourth.
Not this again, man. Not this
again. I'm telling you. Live by the sword, die by the sword. No, honest, jokes aside, absolutely elated after last night. I was stunned into silence. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and said off camera to Dan, and we'll go over it more in a bit. What a difference a week makes. What a difference just changing a few little bits and pieces in that team did. I mean, look, you always have to be up for the Liverpool game. If you're not, then why are you here? But we haven't been up for the Liverpool game the last couple of occasions. So, yeah, happy Manny Danny.
Yeah, you know it, man. You know it. Lawless and Lewis are going to be on. Trust me. Don't worry in the chat. Everyone's worrying, thinking, oh, where are they? They will be on. But we're going to start with our teams because, of course, we had a good weekend. Start with Arsenal, then we'll go on to Spurs, and then we'll go on to United. I must say, I don't like to get carried away. You both know me long enough to know that. But something seems a little bit different this year with Arsenal. And I think it's the players, if I'm honest with you. The three signings have looked really good. Zinchenko, Jesus, and of course, Saliba, that's come into the side now, really has raised the level in the first 3 games. And although I'd expect to get 9 points, and I expected to take 9 points from Palace, Leicester, and from Bournemouth, the way that we did it, I think, looked really composed, really comfortable, and in different ways. I think against Palace and Bournemouth, we saw a lot more physical presence in both of those games, which of the Arsenal of old that I can remember used to always get bullied in those sort of games. And I don't think that we've got that soft underbelly of much now. And I will give Arteta and Edu credit for that in terms of the recruitment, because I do think that most of them, they have actually got correct. I think they have got it way wrong in 2 or 3 positions over the past years. I think the Willian one was a joke. Ceballos didn't really work out. Runnison was a nightmare. Cedric, even Savage, to be fair, probably hasn't worked out. Pablo Marie hasn't worked out. But when you look at the ones that have worked out and that have come in, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Ben White, Zinchenko, Saliba, Partey, obviously Gabriel Jesus, and signing the youngsters onto a long-term deals like Martinelli, Smith-Rowe and Saka, you can at least see a plan at Arsenal, even if you think it's going to work or you think it's not going to work. I think with some of the other clubs, I've not really seen a plan, particularly now at Chelsea and obviously at Manchester United. I think with Tottenham, it's all been a plan of back Conte and do things now. With Arsenal, you can't say Mikel Arteta hasn't been backed. The guy's been, I think we spent close to 400 million now. So when you look at the players, I think the team's good enough. I think the players he's brought in are all been of a certain implement of young players. And I think what we need to see now is it executed on the pitch. So long may it continue. I've been impressed. I know it's only Bournemouth, but when I look at the way that we won and some of the football we're playing, it's really pleasing. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it, man. We'll start with you, Dan. What do you think of Arsenal at the moment, bro?
I think going on what you said there, the main thing is the signings. The signings that you're making now are the correct ones, and I think the investment and investment is a big word, because a lot of these players that you're bringing in, the resale value, if they do move on and they keep playing like they are, is going to be huge. But it's the character you've got in the squad. It really is, and Saliba's just been quality. I mean, I don't follow Arsenal, you know that, but I do keep an eye on the teams, and. The question that a lot of fans, and I suppose you guys were asking, was he was doing so well away on loan. Why wasn't he back fighting for a place at Arsenal? And actually, he's come back this season, and he is a new signing technically, isn't he? I don't think he ever played for you, did he? Or did he play a couple of times maybe in the cups? I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, I just think he's been sort of in that back four. Inspirational, and I think Ben White's done a really good job at right back. I really do. Tommy Asu, I was expecting him to come back and just take the role and carry on, but Ben White's held it, and you know, he's owned it. Now the thing is, as people are saying in the chat, and I completely agree, you haven't played any of the big sides yet. But then we go back to what you said, Dan, last season against Palace. I remember us being on Judges TV, Lee Judges TV, and I said in the game that you had coming up, Palace is a huge game. You need to make sure you come ready for that, and you didn't. These games now, you're approaching them the right way. And I think there's that belief in the team that you're not going to get bullied. You are going to play the good football. You've got Jesus up top, who is he stunned me. I didn't expect him to hit the ground running as quick as he has. So it's been a good start from Arsenal. And I think, you know, keep the mindset like they are now. Who knows what can happen? I'm not saying they're going to win the league, of course, but that top four race, you're in the right spot at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, it's looking good, man. So far, so good. Tobes, me and you have been quite honest about each other's teams throughout, man, the time we've known each other. And we both said that, and I think we both stand by it, that we are actually still quite short in certain positions. I think Spurs are as well. Yeah. Do you think that Spurs and Arsenal this season is going to be a massive fight out? Or do you think there's one team that looks better than the other currently?
I think it's going to be a massive fight out for sure. But you know, I'm going to back us over you, to be fair. I do think we're stronger in some departments, but I also think you're stronger in some departments as well. I don't think when you look at your team, the way it's built and assembled, I think you look a bit stronger in some aspects. So I think it's going to be close, man. I think it's going to be close. We only finished 1 point apart, and I think both teams have done some decent business this summer. I think we've been able to fill more gaps, but I feel like some of the signings you've made have been able to make much bigger impacts from the off. Obviously, ours remains to be seen, so we'll see how they develop over the season. But I think both sides are going to be ultra competitive, man. I don't think we're going to see one side massively pull away. I'll be shocked if that happens. I think it's going to go right up until the wire. But me personally, I'm backing us with the heavy artillery that we have, with our manager, with our experience as well. I think come game 38, there will be some breathing room between us and Arsenal.
And do you think, Tobes, that a lot of people are saying Mikel Arteta looks different this season? Arsenal look different this season. Is it still too early for that, or have you seen anything that change in this Arsenal setup?
It's a little bit too early for that, but I do think the brand of football that you're playing is gone up a little, another notch, and I think the players that you've added to your first 11 helps with that. And what I mean by that is you look a bit more comfortable in possession. Look at the back as well, Zinchenko. You look at the quality that he brings on the ball, and we spoke about Zinchenko when you were linked with him, and we said it, and I said he looks a decent signing for Arsenal, very sensible. Can help play the brand of football Arteta wants to play, but I can also say on the flip side, I don't really think he's been worked defensively, and I feel like at times when teams go at Zinchenko, they can easily go past him. So I think the major noticeable difference is you guys' ability to sort of assert your authority on a match in terms of the brand of football you're playing, and to start scoring early as well. I think in all the games you've played, bang, we're seeing Arsenal almost like look to try and kill the game off in the first half. Like, you're not really giving teams the opportunity to sort of get themselves back into the game and make it an uncomfortable an uncomfortable game for you. I know Crystal Palace did that in the second half, but you already were defending a 1-0 lead. Leicester tried, but you're already defending like a 2-1 lead at halftime. I think it was either 1-0 or 2-0. And Bournemouth, you're already 2-0 up at halftime. So I do think there are some changes that we can already see in the Arsenal side. So I guess it's positive for you, but we just need to see if they can be maintained throughout the season.
Yeah, of course, 3 games in is never easy to predict, but at the moment it's looking good for Arsenal. And to be fair, our difference in signings for me has taken us up another level. And one of those players is Gabriel Jesus. And just before we do kind of come to a close on talking Arsenal, Dan, I want to bring the new signings up, and Gabriel Jesus in particular with yourself. Obviously a Manchester City player that we all knew had quality. We all knew numbers were good. But when you look at the goals he scored per season, it was never more than sort of double figures, really, just for the pure fact that Pep never really played him in that number 9 role, played him at all, really. Used to give him minutes here and there. He was always understudy to Sergio Aguero. And as soon as Haaland's come in, of course, he realised that he was going to be understudy yet again. So I think it's been a great signing for Arsenal. What do you see him doing for us, and how impressed have you been with him, mate?
Well, look, the question I suppose I'll come back to you with is, we had the conversation at the start of the season with who was going to be top scorer, and you have to say at the moment the positions he's getting himself into, and when I say positions he's getting himself into, not just to receive the ball, but he is pushing himself onto defenders. He is muscling defenders. He is giving them so much shit, really. So for me, I'm stunned at him, and I think the way he plays, the way he's got Odegaard behind him, he loves playing with Martinelli. You can already see they're linking up, really, really, really well. He can do anything he wants in this Arsenal team. He's the main man now. Where he's been before with City, he wasn't the main man. He had to bide his time. He had to wait for his opportunity. Now he's in a situation where he has got his chest puffed out. He is the man. The ball is going to come to him. He is going to get chances to score. Now, it's just all about how he applies himself for the rest of the season. You know, again, it's a great start to the season, but I'd like to think that Arteta will keep him hungry. And I think that's what he needs. He needs hunger. But the signings, I completely echo what Tobe said. The signings have taken you up to that next level. They really have. Last season, I said, again, on the other show, Lee Judges, that you were a work in progress. This season, I know it's 3 games in, you haven't played, blah, blah, blah. But this work in progress is a step further. And if I'm Arsenal, with the way I've started, I'll be honest with you, I'd be fuming if I don't get top 4 at the moment, because you're playing good football. You're not being bullied off the ball as much. There is that excuse me, maturity in the way that you're playing. So it's going to be a really, really good season with Arsenal. I hate to say it because we've got you soon. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that one, but we'll see what happens. I honestly think Arsenal can do what they want to do. Arteta, as you've said before, has to do it this season. This season he has to do it. He's been backed the last couple of years. He's been able to clear house. You know, they've backed him with the big decisions of Lacazette, with Aubameyang. You know, they've done that. This is it now. He's got his team. This is Arteta's team now. So we'll just see what happens. I mean, again, Arsenal fans will be extremely delighted with the way the season starts. But again, we're only 3 games in.
Yeah, we are only 3 games in. Just before we move on, Tobes, I want to bring this one up. This is from Arsene Gunnar, who's saying that Tielemans and Neto equals top 4. Obviously, they're 2 players we're heavily linked with. Tielemans dropped at the weekend. His head's not in the right place, which suggests to me he probably wants out. And Neto is someone that we're linked with. Now, Wolves don't normally sell wingers or players of their quality for anything less than 40 million. So we've got to go ahead of that, because that's what Jota and Gibbs White have gone for. Do you think these 2 could come to Arsenal, and what would it mean to you if they did?
I think if they both came to Arsenal, it definitely makes you guys a stronger proposition than I already think you are, and it makes you even closer competitors with us for top 4. But I would still believe in us to do what we need to do to get the job done. I think with Neto, me personally, I can't see you guys signing him, simply because I think Wolves are going to tax you an arm and a leg for Neto. I can't really see a world in which they buy Guedes for 35 million quid and then sell you Neto for the same price. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And even the 50 million, it makes no sense to me again. They just sold a player who wasn't even in their starting 11 last season in Morgan Gibbs White. for 45 million all in. Why on earth would they sell probably their best attacker, in my opinion, right now? Their best attacker, in my opinion, who's still young, who can effectively be the future of their attack. Why would they sell him for a relatively cut price still, in their opinion? Because whilst Neto may not be worth 60, 70 million right now, he is to them. To them, in terms of the value they see him being able to meet in future years to come. That's what they're going to put on his head. And I can't see Arsenal paying that for Neto. I can see them getting Tielemans more than I can see them getting Neto.
Okay. No, that's fair, man. I think with Tielemans, it looks as if he wants out and he's been dropped, and that one probably will happen at some point. Whether he's going to go Arsenal or not, I can see him leaving. But with Neto, we're going to have to pay 45, 50 million, and I can only think the reason he would go is if Pedro Neto says, I want to go. I don't think Wolves will want to sell him. I really don't. I think he's one of their best players. He was injured last season, so it's a player they want to try and get the best out of this season, because last season he was hardly available for him.
And he just signed a new deal as well. Like I'm sorry,
there you go.
I can't see, even 50 million. I can't see them selling him for 50 million. I can't see. I think they'll knock that back. If Arsenal went to Wolves for 50 million for Neto, they'll knock that back. They'll knock that back, personally.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
When you talk about Tielemans there, Dan, as well, we have literally the last sort of 2 years just watched Leicester get picked apart, haven't we? They are getting picked apart with their players now. Where they were a team that sort of everyone looked at as winning a cup or challenging for the European places, they're just picked apart now. I don't know where their decent players are coming from. Maddison will be the next one to go after Fofana and Tielemans.
Yeah, Maddison is apparently wanted by Newcastle, and I think they'll probably go in with another bid. Whether he wants to go there or not is a different story. But I think he will be looking around Leicester thinking, where's Tielemans going? Where's Fofana going? Vardy's just signed a new contract and he's 35 or whatever he is. So where does it leave his future with a World Cup year? He wants to try and desperately get into that England squad, which I believe he deserves to be in anyway. But I look at James Maddison as a player and think, wow, if he's the only one they're going to have left, then Leicester, like you say, could be in serious trouble. But do they keep Tielemans unhappy there? Do they keep Fofana, who doesn't want to be there? It's a really hard job for Brendan Rodgers. A lot of rumours that he might be walking because he's just had enough and he's not been backed. But I'll be very, very surprised if all of them are allowed to go in this window and not have any time to replace him. It's going to be a madness. It really is. But fair play to you both on Arsenal. I think you've been very honest there. I think you've been very, very fair. I think Saliba, just lastly, for me, I think he's got potential to be anything he wants to be. He looks fantastic. I can understand the hype. I do get it. I don't think it's going to be a case of overhyping the guy, because when he's putting in performances like that, everybody's talking about him, and rightly so. He deserves the plaudits the way he's been playing at the moment. A lot of people are saying that if there's a player of the month, it will probably be between him and Jesus, and it will probably go to an Arsenal player. Whether you believe in that or not, I think it's a fair point. I think it's a fair comment and a fair debate. I think Saliba's been outstanding, as well as Gabriel Jesus, and long may it continue where Arsenal are playing. It's really good to watch. So, but let's lose to Tottenham. Dan. Oh, go on, Dan.
Just quickly, mate, with regards to Leicester, I tell you who'll know a lot about Leicester come the end of the season. Lawless, mate, when he's on the relegation show with him. I'm telling you now, he'll know everything about him, mate. So keep an eye out for Lawless for the rest of the season. That guy's going to know everything.
I'll tell you, man, the way it's going, man, we're going to have to swap some of these people around. I'll tell you that, man. But let's talk a little bit about Tottenham. But before we do that, let's bring in the main man himself. He is here. He's got himself back home.
Clearly recording in the dark as well.
His meter's gone out. His meter's gone out. He's having a bad weekend. He's having a bad week. He's now just got himself back home. Lawless, what you saying? Talk to me.
Mate, oh, what a mission! What a mission! But
hi, Lawless.
Hey, how's it going? How's Edison? Glazier's in. Glazier's in, yeah.
Not my words, pal. Not my words.
Sure. It is, mate.
Definitely
hey,
not.
Look at this. Fucking knick-knack, paddy whack, Man United, or whatever that shit song you sing. You lot singing it? Man United.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Bottom of the table, mate. I had this last week.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at the turnaround. Look at the difference. One game. The Glazers always had the plan. They always.
Now you're gonna believe us. Now you better believe us.
You just didn't give Ten Hag time and the Glazers time. Trust the process. Dan knows about that. Dan knows about the process. He's enjoying the process. Enjoy the process. Back the Cronkies, back the Glazers, and things will happen.
Lawless, this is what the process has done to me. Look at the state of this. This was a beautiful auburn colour a few years ago. That's what the process has done, mate.
Honestly.
Listen, we're going to come on to West Ham in a minute, man, but we're going to move on to Tottenham quick because, Tobes, a lot of people saying Tottenham was shocking in the first half, and I think that's fair. I didn't think they were great. Second half, you picked it up. I watched the game in the pub because I was over in Bournemouth, and I watched the game in the pub. And the second half, I thought you deserved some more credit. I thought the first half was really poor. Wolves, to be fair, had a couple of chances. They'll be disappointed they didn't take. What did you make of the game, though, bro?
I think you've got a fair assessment, apart from maybe the last part, to be honest, about them having a couple of chances. They had loads of attempts, but they didn't really have any genuine goal scoring opportunities that threatened us. I think Lloris made like 2-3 saves in the entire 90-minute spell, or the entire 90-minute match, and like they were catches. They weren't even like actual blocks for corners and stuff. So yeah, I agree with the first half summary. I think we started off well for the first like 6 or 7 minutes. We looked on it. We looked like we wanted to try and press them, try to get ourselves on the front foot, and then we just really took our foot off the gas a little bit, and Wolves sort of grew into the game. And then I think probably like halfway through the first half, they just took over completely. Like they used the ball way better than we did. They won the ball back of us way too easily. They played for our press way too easily. Neves was pulling the strings. Collins, Kilman were just locking everything up at the back. And even Guedes, he didn't play well, but he had a couple opportunities to run out our defense and stuff like that. So it wasn't a good first half at all. Like Wolves were by far and away the better side. And you're going into halftime thinking like, yo, this is poor. But you're also thinking, just raise the effort by 50%, and this game is there for the taking. And lo and behold, that's what we did in the second half, and they couldn't really provide a response to us. Like once we firmly said, like, yo, we're actually going to start playing football here, they didn't really have an answer. We created way more chances in the second half than they did in the entire 90 minutes. I think our subs came on and did relatively well in comparison to their subs. I think our subs had a much more positive effect to the way we were playing than their subs did. And yeah, man, in the end, it wasn't a convincing performance, but it was a deserved result. Like, I don't think you can watch that game for 90 minutes and tell me hand on heart that Wolves created enough chances to get them a win in comparison to Spurs. So yeah, not great overall. Still got areas that we need to improve, but we did enough to win. And I think that's the one thing I can take away from our performances so far this season. Like, no matter the performance, we're still a team that are able to create chances. Not one, not two. We're talking 3, 4 like goal scoring opportunities. No matter how poor we're playing, we're giving ourselves a way to always get back into the game. So we just need to try and cut out these slow starts. Southampton at home was probably the rare occasion where we actually played really well and surprisingly went down a goal against the run of play and came, but it didn't really affect our performance. But we had a couple of instances like this towards the end of last season where we'd have slow first half and then second half we'll just blitz a team. We did it against Newcastle, did it against Aston Villa. So we just need to try and like stretch our performance over the 90, and I think that will come with new signings sort of gelling into the team, because we, like you said, in comparison to you, we've not really actually integrated any of our new signings. We're still playing with largely the same side that finished last season. So Perisic, that was his first start, and he was wicked in the second half. He was brilliant. That's a big FU to all of those people who told me that, oh, he's washed up, he's 33, how will he cope in the Premier League? He locked up one of the best young wingers in the league in Pedro Neto in the second half, and he took the piss out of Johnny Otto. Like, that step over, he put him on his ass. We're talking 33-year-old Perisic. So, and then Kulusevski on the other side as well. So there's a lot to be positive about, but yes, there's definitely scope for improvement. definitely.
Yeah, I think that's fair, man. Big up, Lewis. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good. All good.
You sure?
Yeah, I've kind of got over the Leeds performance now.
I don't
Kinda.
think you have. Trust me.
We're gonna reload it. I'm gonna get pissed off again. I know, but yeah, we're here and I'm not ducking the smoke for anyone who was
Good,
wondering
good,
in
good,
the
good
comments.
lad.
Love
good
that,
lad.
man.
Man's here.
Love that.
I'm here.
Love that. Lawless, just quickly on Spurs. Did they get lucky for you, or was it a well-deserved 3 points, bro?
Wouldn't say
look,
well
Tobes
deserved, but deserved.
He's anticipating. He's anticipating what I'm going to say. Yeah, Tobes. I suppose Tobes is right. They did have the better chances. Wolves just can't. They've got nothing up top, mate. Like me. You know, it's just really, honestly, not potent at all going forward. But you know what? I was impressed with Richarlison. I have to say, when he come off the bench, he looked lively. He was trying to make things happen. He was taking players on. You know what? And Son, his place might not be safe. If I'm looking at Richarlison now, I'm looking at Son's form.
Come on.
Come on. Like Son has not been good this
Son's
season.
class, man.
No one should be undroppable. No,
That's
one.
fair. That's fair.
Like,
but Son is class, man. I hate him, but he's class.
If he goes into another weekend, right, and drops just a mediocre performance, right? Come on, he's got to be dropped. You've got
It's
to
up to the manager.
So,
It's up to the manager. Like, listen, this is Son, right? He has these moments in the season where he'll play bad. And the thing is with Son, when he's not playing well, he stinks. That's the thing with Son. There's no in between. He's not just a 5 out of 10. When he's not on it, he's legitimately just everything's going wrong. But when he is on it, everything goes well. So I think he is gonna get given as much leeway as possible because he literally is our second best player and he always plays himself back into form. But yeah, you're right. I think the beauty of having someone like Richarlison is that we don't have to let Son's form be to our detriment. Like, we don't have to endure his poor performances in case it costs us. Right now we're winning, so it's all good, but you're right, he's not playing well. And I think Antonio Conte will make a decision if he continues to not play well. I think he'll bring Richarlison into the team. I don't think it will happen against Nottingham Forest. I don't actually think it will happen against West Ham, but Fulham at home, I think he'll bring Richarlison into the team for sure.
I bet that prick Son turns up against us, doesn't he? Like, it's
Well, yeah,
obviously
of course.
Spurs Cup final.
Exactly,
He knows
bro.
it. He knows it's a cup final.
The cheek of you calling that our cup final is crazy. Don't make me bring up that literal mug that you got created.
You will never let that rest.
That's why Son is Son, right? He's a tremendous player. Like, he's elite. Like, you have him in your team for those games at West Ham, away to West Ham, crunch game, where you want your big players to stand up and be counted. You wouldn't put it past Son to stand up and be counted because that's just the player he is. Same for Nottingham Forest away. So we'll see, man. It's not a bad thing. If Son's not playing well, okay, fine, he's not playing well. Bring in Richarlison. Whatever.
That's a little bit of squad depth now, man. I must admit,
There you
over
go.
at Charleston, if Kane and Son come out, you have got somebody there now. And I think the last couple of seasons, you haven't had that. Lewis, lastly on Tottenham, what have you made of them? Have you been impressed with them these first 3 games? Do you think they'll be what you expect them to be, or have you got any question marks, bro?
Oh, they've been good. They've been good. Like, obviously, the Chelsea game they didn't play well in, but I already said last week there's a mental block when they come to the bridge, and I expected that performance. They played really well against Southampton. Wolves not necessarily played well, but they grinded out a result, which is still something that you would want to see from that side. Then it's another positive sign. Fact is, they got the 3 points. Whether you play well or not, if you take the 3 points, you're going to take the 3 points and just continue to move on. It's still early days. Like, the biggest test for, I think, all the clubs competing for Europe is how they adapt to dealing with European football and Premier League football, especially with the first half of the season and all of the fixture lists just being piled in together. But yeah, Tottenham have had a good start, very good start.
Yeah, fair play, man. Anybody on the panel expect Forest to take anything from Tottenham, or do we all expect Spurs to win? Anyone fancy Forest to take anything from that game?
They might give them a good match, but I still think Tottenham win.
It wouldn't surprise me wouldn't surprise me if Forest got something. It would be very Tottenham. And like I said this yesterday. If Lingard scores, mate, all forgiven. Get a hat trick, Lingard, and we're even. Yeah.
What, the flop of the season?
The flop of the season. That's what he is, and he's still been a flop, by the way. But this is the game for him to turn up. So fingers crossed. But we'll see. But like I said, like Lewis said, when Europe comes, and this is the thing with Arsenal, living La Vida Loca, singing your fucking do business, whatever you lot are going on about. When Europe hits, mate, then we'll see what's what. When Europe
Isn't that the same with you though?
Yeah, but it's we. I think
because they got Viborg to play and people like that.
Yeah, we're playing Viborg. We can chill.
Cyborg FC.
We can relax, but we can relax in Europe for a while. Like, you lot are gonna have to take it super seriously.
Why can you relax in Europe?
Because we're playing Cyborg FC, as you just said.
And what makes you think that your B squad will just wash these teams?
Well, our B squad did wash this team. So that's
who's in the starting lineup?
Who's in the starting lineup? We had Coventry, Ashby. Yeah, we had a lot of B play, a lot of new signings. Obviously, Skamaka, who's just starting for the first time. He hasn't played Prem games. A lot of players that weren't playing Prem was playing in that game. So Ogbonna came back from injury and played.
Fair enough. I just seen the team. Fair. Lord,
none of them players.
You'll be check this one out. Areola played that game, and Lawless just spoke about.
So you can get off my case now, boss. You can get off my case.
B team players.
I can't get off your case. How can I get off your case when he's starting against Viborg when he's not playing in the Premier League and you tipped him to be the signing of the season? How can I get off your case?
Whoa. I said, why do you keep doing this? I said bargain of the season. There's a difference.
One of the most underrated signings. That's what you said.
That was it.
Underrated signing. He could be one of the bargains of the season. That's not controversial. This is what's so annoying about it. It was such a throwaway tweet just to say, like, great signing, happy with this bargain. And Tobes had to jump on it, yeah? He had to jump
you're
on
lying.
Straight away.
You're lying.
How am I lying? It's just a nice...
I'm tired of you saying the stuff you say. Like the other day, you called Brighton, "Oh, let's go beat Fish and Chip FC," and they came to your ground and they humiliated you.
Listen, you got to hype up the troops, mate.
Fish and Chip FC. What if they're Fish and Chip FC? Then you're Pie and Mash FC.
Nah, listen, man. Come on. Let's be real.
If they're Fish and Chips FC, you are Pie and Mash FC. And you're playing. We've got
more pedigree. We've got more. You know what I mean? We're a historic club. Yeah. Brighton.
Oh, we won the World Cup in 1966 or whatever.
Yeah. How many World Cups Brighton won? How many World Cups you won? How many World Cups?
Bruv, you're really claiming a World Cup.
Let's put our World Cups on the table. Yeah, mate. Without West Ham,
you're claiming a World Cup. You're a fucking domestic club.
They all do this. They all claim a World Cup
on the table, yeah, and see who's got the most. Because West Ham, without West Ham, England have no World Cups. That's all I'm saying. You're Cock and Ball FC. What are you talking about? That shitty logo.
What you want, mate. I'm just stating the obvious with you.
Listen.
Let's move to West Ham, man, because I mean, Lawless, 0 goals, conceding goals, bottom of the table. You come on here with a lot of chest saying that you reckon they're going to finish above Man United. You've messaged me saying I think United will slip and we'll get ahead of them. It's not been the best of starts, man. And there's some other shows that are wanting you on, man. I'm not going to lie. There's the best of the rest and the Fight for Survival show at the moment. I've got a space for you, bro. What's happening? Talk to me.
Dan, Lawless. I know what you're going to say. The season starts now. Waiting for the season to start.
Aston Villa are currently drawing with Bolton, yeah? Last time I checked, they're drawing with Bolton. So, and they're playing their first team. They're playing their strongest team against Bolton right now. So season will start then. Might I remind you, Arsenal lost their first 3 games last season and finished 5th. So let's not write us off yet. Let's not count us out yet, Potts. You should know more than anyone. Yeah, why we shouldn't.
I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying it's not been the best starts.
It's not been, and I said it. I called it. I said we wasn't ready before the first game.
Yeah,
before
no, that's
Paul
fair.
was
You did.
picked. So I expected this. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it's been, because it has been bad. Like you said, no goals, hardly creating chances. It's just shit, and the team is stale, and teams are figuring us out. And I've seen this. I retweeted something. Ben Johnson was saying how teams he's talking about have done a lot of research into how we play. Man City plan to deal with our counter attack. We're predictable. We're so predictable. So Moyes has to change things: personnel, tactics, formations, anything. Just let's find another way of playing, because we're easy to play against. It's just bullshit. So the weekend changes have to be made. Certain players need to be dropped. Players need to come in. I'm not hearing. Look, we've just signed Emerson.
Name the players that need to be dropped.
Jared Bowen, for one. Jared Bowen
Corner,
needs to
yeah?
be dropped. I would
For
play,
who, for
yeah,
corner?
even corner. I'd put Antonio on the right wing, to be fair. I'd put Antonio there.
Mate, he
I'd
needs
put
to be dropped as well. He needs to be
He does,
dropped.
but I'm willing to put him back on the right wing and try him there. I'm willing.
Okay.
I'm willing to put Bowen in the middle, Cornet on the left.
You just said drop
Souček.
Bowen. Oh,
No, so what did I say? Ben Rama. Ben Rama.
You
in
said
the
drop
middle.
Bowen. Oh, so Ben
Drop
Rama in the
Bowen,
middle.
yeah. Ben Rama in the middle.
And
Cornet on the left. Drop Souček.
why? Why drop Souček?
Because he's not been playing up to his usual standards. Yeah.
So what's his usual
standard?
standard?
You
What's
know what I
different?
mean? Like,
What's
a bit of
different?
engine, a bit of physicality about
What's
him.
it different? Please tell me. Is
Engine,
it
a
the
bit
goals?
of drive.
The goal
It's not
scorer
just the
midfielder?
He's just. It's not just
Any
the
fucking
goals.
DM. What's changed in his game?
He's
Because nothing's
just.
changed for me. It's the only thing is the goals have dried up. What's changed?
Yeah, but he had games even when he weren't scoring. He was a presence in the team. Yeah, he was
to
a
do
presence.
what? What was he doing? What?
He was
Presence,
making
right?
tackles.
What the fuck is
He
that?
was making tackles. He was breaking up play. He's making
Okay.
tackles. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, something. But right now, Fornals, I think, can offer more in that position. Fornals, I think, has what it takes to be a good centre midfielder. Drop Soufal, because he's not. I know he's come back from surgery, all of this stuff, but we need to shake things up. You can make too many changes sometimes and shoot yourself in the foot. I would drop Creswell. Listen, I'm not buzzing about this Emerson signing, to be fair. I know Lewis probably is, because all the Chelsea fans have been like messaging me going, "Oh, thank you, yeah, you signed him," all of that. So Lewis is probably over the moon, but I'm not. I can't be excited about any signings because I don't fucking play. This is the problem. Like, it doesn't matter who we sign. So we could sign Messi, and it'll probably take him like 6 weeks to get a start in the team. It's just, you know.
What is
to
this
be
with Moyes, man? What is this with Moyes? Talk to me. Why is Moyes not trusting them yet? Like, why is it 3 games in now? No sign of a start from Skamaka. No sign of a start from Cornet. No sign of a start from Areola. Doesn't look like Flynn Downs is going to get a look in, even though you said Souček's been poor. What's going on, man?
Look, I think I might have said this on one of our shows last week, that I sort of speculated as to why I think Moyes isn't starting him, and that was the fact that he doesn't want to put players out there before they're ready, because that's like your first impression of them, and he wants to be, you know, if they have a bad game, everyone's jumping on them already, so he wants them to be fully ready. And he actually came out and said that like a few days after I said it. Top analysis here, by the way. So yeah, and I get it to an extent, but when the same shit's happening every week and the same players are dropping poor performances, and you've got players there, bring them on. We'll give them time. We've got. Listen, I'm patient. I see Kera. He gave away that penalty. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be patient with him. I'm not on his case. I'm not saying the guy's shit. Just give players a chance, man. Like, and if honestly, if he puts the same team out against Villa, mate, it is going to be crazy. If he puts the same team out against Villa and we lose, boy, the Moyes out brigade is going to be loud, and there's going to be a few conversions, because I'm hearing it already, and people are fed up. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I didn't want him in the first place, but I embraced him afterwards. But yeah, mate, frustrating. This is what you can't do. You know, when the managers, right, when things are going bad and they're being stubborn and not changing and digging in, that's when the fans start to turn. We've all experienced it, right? With our clubs, right? You've all had those managers that, like, everyone's calling, like, just try something. If you try something and we lose, I'm not going to get onto you. If you drop certain players and you put other players in and we lose, that no one's going to blame you. They're going to go, okay, you tried something. Just try something, man. But Moyes, he could, be on his way out, very quickly with the fans. But yeah, I think we can turn it around, beat Villa and beat Spurs. Beat Spurs. We've got to do it, man. If we lose to Spurs and lose this game, it's looking dicey, mate. It's looking dicey for him. And we got Chelsea after that as well. We got Aston Villa, Spurs, Chelsea. Our next few games.
And that's not an easy run, bro.
Do you know what pisses me off is we're not going to get that Chelsea that played against Leeds. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you will. You will.
It's at Stamford Bridge, isn't it? Like, I'm going to do what's Tobes. Oh, we never do well at the Bridge. We never do well at the Bridge. Like, if we get a point at the Bridge, mate, I'm going to celebrate like Tobes. I'm
West
going
Ham
to get
versus Chelsea
out.
different. West Ham away to Chelsea is different to Spurs away to Chelsea.
We
Just
never
wanted to
do
make
well
that
at the
clear.
Bridge either. Like, we've
you're
got
shit, though.
one win there. And oh, that's why. Because we're shit. Oh, Spurs are a fucking top
We're
class
better than
team.
you.
Yeah? Elite.
We're better than you.
Currently, you're in better form than us. Yes.
Currently, we're in better form. We're just a better side than you. What do you mean?
Like, this is what I hate about Spurs fans. This is what I've said.
So wait, are you telling me that Tottenham are not a better side than West Ham?
Yeah, but
What are you telling me?
it's not even worth mentioning. It's just marginal. It's like,
It's
come
marginal.
on. Yeah, it's like it's
Don't worry,
negligible.
Let me not take up the show. Forget it. It's
I'm just
marginal.
saying,
Sorry.
like, you ain't that special, mate. You ain't
I
that
didn't say
special.
we're special. I just said we're better than West Ham. I didn't say we're special.
You're currently better. What? So yeah, but you could say you've been better than Arsenal. What does that even mean?
It means that we've been better than Arsenal for a period of time.
Okay, what do you want to fucking blue Peter Padge?
I don't, but you just compared. You were talking about your record at Stamford Bridge, and you're saying I'm going to do a Tobes. I said it's a little bit different though, because Chelsea actually despise Spurs. You're just shit.
Yeah, but listen, we have a poor record there. That's what I'm saying. We've got a better record with them at home. We've got a few results from them at home, so it's not just.
You only won once, sir.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, Tobes. If we were just shit, they'd batter us all the time they come to our ground, isn't it, Tobes? Isn't it? If it weren't the Stamford Bridge hoodoo.
Oh,
We've been Chelsea at our ground a couple of times as well, though. But it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So it's comparable.
Tobes, what's going wrong at West Ham for you, man?
I just don't think they're. I don't know. To be honest, one, I don't think they're as good as they think they are. That's one. That's one. A lot of the players who certain players who I called out when they were playing well and said these guys fundamentally aren't good. They told me I was
one
waffling.
player.
They told me I was waffling now look at it. But you know what it is with West Ham? I feel like, all jokes aside, they've got enough quality to be in a better position than they are right now. And to be honest, I think they didn't have the easiest start. So playing Man City at home, automatic L. Yeah, I know they drew 2-2 they drew 2-2 last season. And to be honest, I initially tipped them to draw, but like you can't really begrudge. You can't really say there's something wrong with West Ham if they're losing at home to Man City. It's just Man City. And Nottingham Forest, I do think if they had the rub of the green and some big decisions went their way and they weren't so profligate, then we wouldn't be sat here saying what's going on in West Ham, because they really should have picked up 3 points against Nottingham Forest. I do think with them, some of their better players are just not playing well. Antonio's been rubbish for like 6-7 months now outside the Europa League. Declan Rice hasn't had as influential a start to the season as he did last year. Bowen isn't playing well. Zuma's not playing well. Creswell's not playing well, and so on and so forth. So a lot of their better players are still struggling. And when the better players are struggling, of course, the team's going to struggle. So all jokes aside, as much as I banter West Ham, I do expect there to be some sort of a reaction. And when you look at the players that they've bought as well, Skamaka, the sooner he gets integrated into the team, the sooner Max Cornet starts more games, the sooner Ben Rama starts continuous games, because he looks like one of the few players who looks like he's actually bringing some fight for West Ham right now. So they'll pick it up. But fundamentally, their fans just need to accept that they're just not as good as they think they are.
It's the third season of playing the same team. That's what I'm going to say. I shared that screenshot in the group chat. No one had.
That's down to Moyes, bro. Moyes has got a.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Mad.
But don't you feel like if you play essentially the same team for that long, that it's going to get stale? Like, you need to, change things up. You need to add a bit of freshness into the team. And like over the past few seasons, like I can look at all your teams and say, okay, you've had this player added and that player added, and the teams change. You can look at last season, this was our regular starting lineup, and the season before this was our regular starting lineup. Ours has been the same, not just the same, but the same in most competitions as well. We're playing the same team in the Prem as the Europa League, as the freaking FA Cup, essentially, and it's just stale, man.
Because we ain't gonna have time to do, because the next show we're going to have is going to be after all of these results because of the way the fixtures are done. Tobes, are you confident of 3 points at West Ham?
West Ham, is that?
Yeah.
When is that? Sorry,
obviously after Forest, you've got them after, haven't you?
Oh, so wait, are we not going to have this show next Tuesday?
We're going to have Forest. We're going to have
midweek games next week.
Midweek games. We're going to have to do something next week towards the later part of the week.
Wednesday,
so we're going to have to discuss both the games. So you'll have Forest and West Ham to discuss. So it's going to be interesting to see. I just want to know how confident.
I'll back us to beat West Ham. It's not like, I'll back us to beat West Ham. Yeah, man. Listen, they're not playing Nuno Espirito Santo or Jose Mourinho coming up against Antonio Conte. So I think we've got enough to go there and get a result. I don't think we're gonna blow them away. But I would love that. I would absolutely love that. But I'll be happy with 3 points. So I think we'll get the job done.
I'm feeling it, man. Do you know what? As bad as things are now, I am feeling a West Ham win. It is just time. It is, there are just times as a West Ham fan, like things are like we're doing shit, and like we're just not playing well. And then Oxfam Spurs come along and like, give us 3 points, like, the good northern neighbors that they are. So yeah, I can fully see a win. He talks about it's not Espirito Santo, it's not Jose, as if we weren't slapping Poch teams, yeah, as if we didn't cost you the league, yeah, when you had Poch. So
sorry, what did you say? You were slapping Poch teams?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, we've slapped some Poch teams, mate.
Pochettino's first game as our Spurs manager was a win at your ground.
Okay, I didn't say we beat him every time.
You said you slapped Poch teams.
Yeah, we have.
That's literally what you said.
Yeah,
so I think you beat us. I remember it now. You beaten us twice at your ground under Pochettino, and he beat you 3 times.
Nah, but what about the cups as well? We beat you in the cups. We beat you in the leagues at our ground. And when you had Poch,
you didn't beat us. You've not beaten us in the cups.
You was acting like, oh, it's because we had the way you said it. It's like we had Espirito Santo.
No. You beat us. I said that because the last 2 times we've played at your ground, we literally had Nuno Espirito Santo and Jose Mourinho, and we lost, bro. We lost.
Yeah, you lost.
So what I'm saying to you is, we now have Antonio Conte. So we're with Conte in the dugout, we're gonna go back to winning.
Yeah, but listen, you've looked shaky. Yeah, you've looked shaky. You look shaky at the Bridge. You look shaky against Wolves. Imagine what you're gonna do. Imagine how you'll shit yourself when you turn up to West Ham like you usually do. You've eaten a fucking whole plate of lasagna. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen when you come to West Ham. I'm confident. I'm confident.
We'll see, man. We'll see what happens, won't we? We'll see.
This is. I've seen this play out too many times before.
Okay.
It's time.
Okay. Let's see what happens, man.
Cool.
It's going to be a good game, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So, listen, it's going to be a draw, and neither of you will. One of you is going to be in the mud. So let's see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting.
We're going to do this.
That's for sure. Let's talk Man United. Dan, you must be happy, bro. Completely
look
different
at
Man
him.
United side. He's happy. He's smiling
Sell
at
out.
Lawless. He knows he's now ahead of Lawless in the table. He's a happy man. In all seriousness, Dan, that was a really good performance from Man United. But my God, Liverpool looked awful. Their
Shocking.
defense was so bad. It was unreal. I don't know what Van Dijk's doing for that goal. It's embarrassingly bad. Trent Alexander-Arnold was just awful. There was no midfield from Liverpool at all. They looked like they had nothing up top at all. Salah and Diaz were just eaten up by, to be fair, two of your better players. I thought Malaysia, is it? Malacia? He was
good.
so good. Like, Shaw's not getting back in, man. Trust me. That guy's really good, he looks. So,
Rightly so.
talk to me, man. Talk to me. How you feeling right now? How different a game can be?
What a difference a week makes. Unbelievable.
Manny Dan is singing. Wow.
Unbelievable. 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 No. Do you know what? As I started to see the team news, who travelled. You know you love it, Tomes. Don't be like that. As the day went on, I kind of started to fancy United. Because there was no Nunes up top, so there was no big man, and we knew that he was going to start Martinez regardless. The way that there was rumours that Ronaldo wasn't starting, and I'll get on to him in a second. I just started to fancy it throughout the day. I mean, they were missing a few players, but they had a lot of big hitters in that side. They did. I kind of was in shock the first 10 minutes. I haven't seen United come out like that for such a long time. Come out and just hassle players and bully players. And what I loved seeing was, again, we completely destroyed him last week, was Rashford. Rashford actually doing something that he's not done for so long, taking players on, not turning around and passing the ball back, not having the confidence to go on. Martinez was just unreal. But again, he didn't have anything in the air he needed to really worry about. Malacia, oh my God. I said to you off air, Dan, it was like watching, Evra. It really was. I'm not comparing them, but just the energy brought to the side, up and down. His heat map I watched at the end was just incredible. Luke Shaw, when I watch Luke Shaw play, I like Luke Shaw, but I watch Luke Shaw play and I always do the same thing. I sit there and I think, please have a good game. Please have a good game. With Malacia, I didn't think it once. Varane was just a rock coming back in there. So calm, so assured. The team played with togetherness. And I'm not going to get too over the top with this, but I loved seeing the players really up for it. Varane and Martinez, every time Martinez, slammed into someone, high-fiving. The game plan changed last night. We saw, I don't know if everybody else saw, but De Gea was not receiving the ball short. He was going long. That's just a case of us having to work with what he has. And also, I thought it was a game for Martial. Martial, it's a season for him this season. It really is, because when he's happy and consistent, he's quality. He is. As soon as Ronaldo comes on last night, which was sort of hanging on, it's 2-1, Liverpool are going for us. Ronaldo's not chasing. Ronaldo's not sprinting to try and close people down. Bruno last night, I mean, Bruno was very petulant at the end, but do you know what? We won. I couldn't give a rat's ass. But Bruno was running. He was everywhere last night. He played with no fear. I just honestly think it was a game we had to win, but I just felt confident. It sounds stupid considering how bad we were the first two games with the players missing. And I tell you what, if I'm Liverpool fans, I'm looking at Nunes even more now and saying, you're an absolute twat. You've completely, chucked us in the mud, because Nunes starts last night. I think he'd have caused us a lot of trouble. I really do, with his height. But it's one of them. We've changed personnel. Have we turned the corner? I'm not sure about that yet. As I said, it was a game we had for us last night. But it's a start. It's 3 points. It's the first loss that Liverpool have suffered since December 21. It's been a good night. It's been a great week. It's been fantastic. Is it completely changed? Am I sat here saying that's it now? We're going to go on and do everything? No, I'm not. Lawless thinks I'm Glazers in. No, I'm not. One sunny day does not make a summer, Lawless. I'm telling you, mate, that it's not about that at all. It's embarrassing, and I'll go back to this again. It's embarrassing the players we're still linked with. We're trying to buy everybody. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. But yeah, of course it is, mate. Of course it is. Just get 3 points, mate. Then we'll talk. No, so it's just
love it.
It's just it's been a great week. Been a great week.
It has been a good
Love
week,
it.
man.
Love
Lewis,
it.
Lewis, let's bring your analysis in on not just Man United, but more importantly, Liverpool and how poor they were at times. I know United deserve credit, don't get me wrong, but Liverpool look a mess at the moment, bro.
I don't really know what's happened to them, to be honest. Part of me feels like this has to be mental. Like maybe all the years are like coming second place to Man City all the time, and it's like we know we're not winning the league again this season, so they all just seem hella complacent. Van Dijk doesn't look as mentally checked in as he usually does. Trent's been caught lacking again. The midfield, there's its own issues. There's injury problems there, and the depth isn't really good enough. They didn't really reinforce the way they should have. And the attack, like, looked toothless, really looked toothless at times. I don't know if it's the fact that, I don't know, maybe United turned up for this fixture a lot, and it's just also give Ten Hag a lot of credit too, because he made very big decisions going into the game, benching Maguire, benching Ronaldo, and it paid off for them. And to be honest, it was going to do that anyway. United always seem to play better as a team when Ronaldo's not there, and Maguire is just Harry Maguire. If we're being
He's off to Chelsea, Lewis. He's off to Chelsea, mate. You're
we ain't even joking about that. We are not even joking about that. If he joins Chelsea, I'm giving up my season ticket. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this shit, bro. I hope to God that is just like fake clickbait bullshit. Let me not even get to that. But yeah, United played really well. It remains to be seen whether it was just them turning up for the fixture or not. But Ten Hag set himself up with a really good base. He needs to continue the way that he started. He needs to keep Maguire and Ronaldo on the bench for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I don't want to get too carried away off one result, because teams can turn up for big fixtures like this. It happens all the time. But
hasn't happened for the last 12 months for us, Lewis. We haven't done it for the last 12 months, mate.
I do think it was the perfect storm for Man United, and I think they have to take credit for engineering their performance, and I think Ten Hag has to take credit for that as well. I felt the back four were quite solid. I know Liverpool's attack could have offered more, but the back four dealt with everything they had that was thrown at them. Malacia didn't give Salah a moment's peace. Lisandro Martinez played well, got in some good blocks, was comfy and composed in possession as well, didn't panic. Varane did his job well defensively, and Dallo as well. That was the one that shocked me the most. He actually did quite well against Luis Diaz, and I think even the midfield as well. I know we'll talk on Liverpool after, but Man United's midfield, even McTominay played well. He was busy when he had the ball. He looked to actually pass it forward as well. Eriksen did okay in that left CM role as well. Even Bruno wasn't as detrimental to the team as he normally was as well. So it was a good all-round team performance from Man United. But what I mean by the perfect storm is they were up against the Liverpool team, who are in a bad moment now. I think there's way too much that's being done on Liverpool's poor start to the season. It's poor, but they're still Liverpool. Like they're going to bounce back. Like Van Dijk will not play this bad for the rest of the season. Trent will not play this bad for the rest of the season. Fabinho will not play this bad for the rest of the season. And then when you look at the injuries they've had as well, I hate to bring up injuries, etc., but they have got big injuries and absences that have altered the way they look right now. Like you look at that attack. Firmino, yeah, he was dropping deep to try and make things happen, but he wasn't a presence in the middle, and he was comfortably kept quiet by the likes of Varane and Lisandro. But like Manny Dan said, they had no Jota, who scored at Old Trafford last season. They had no Nunes, who would have definitely given them a different proposition in terms of his movement and the runs that he makes as well. And then even in the midfield as well, they had nobody in that midfield to want the ball, to control the ball, to make those passes into the final third as well. I felt it was just a really, really disjointed Liverpool side and a patched up Liverpool side that just were terrible. But that being said, they could have played better than they did yesterday.
Yeah, this isn't some heavily weakened Liverpool side. This is, you look at how many players that are in that side that won trophies, that have dominated teams. Like, there's a couple of new signings. Mane left, obviously, but they knew he was leaving and should have prepared for it accordingly. But that team, that's still title-winning team that we've seen. Apart from the midfield was the big weakness, but obviously Henderson, who was a big player, he's aging. Milner's aging. They were just poor, but
Harvey Elliott was good. Harvey Elliott was
He was
probably
decent, yeah.
the
He was
one
their best
one
player,
bright the one bright note for him. He was
Carvalho looked decent.
quality,
as well.
yeah.
he was trying, but I don't know, man. I wasn't so hyped on Harvey Elliott. I thought his decision making was poor. He was trying to make things happen, but he was sort of doing the wrong thing, or his execution as well was letting him down in the final third. But honestly, Ten Hag, like David Moyes, take note, because he dropped the players. He dropped players. You gave him a few chances, a few games, and said, no, do you know what? Maguire, you're out. Shaw, you're out. You know, you make those big decisions. Even Ronaldo dropped. You can drop Ronaldo.
You know what else he did, Lawless? Lawless, I'll tell you what else he did, mate. He did 2 big decisions at the start of the game and halfway through. He made a big decision starting Elanga, and I thought Elanga was really bright, was full of running. And then what he did is at half-time, he took Elanga off. Elanga wasn't injured, and he pushed Rashford. He could see that Rashford would have the run-in on Trent, and he did that. And again, that absolutely changed the second half because they couldn't cope with him. They couldn't cope with him on the left.
I'll tell you, Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? I watched that first goal back, the Sancho goal. He's an absolute disgrace. If I was Klopp, I would consider
defending.
Because it's what I saw there. It wasn't a lack of quality; it was a lack of effort, laziness. You watch him; he sits there, jogs and walk, and just allows Sancho to just run past. Like he doesn't even try to stop it. He just
Trent or
Trent.
Trent was poor for that goal.
Trent just let him go.
But Van Dijk, for me, you're right in front of it. Why are you backing away? Go and try and block that ball. Like it was insane defending from Van Dijk. You've literally he's put his arms behind his back and he's basically shifting. You've given him
doing a Liam Gallagher, isn't
he? You've given him
I think Trent is
a big chunk of the
worse
goal to aim at
because but Trent is worse for that because at least like Van Dijk makes the wrong decision. Yeah, Van Dijk, but what Trent does is he just goes, oh, someone else will deal with it. Someone else will stop that goal.
I can't lie. Trent was lazy. Trent was lazy, but Van Dijk is right in front of it, bro. Go and get Trent got done by the 1-2 and then stopped. Yes, he was lazy. But my thinking is, Van Dijk, you're right there. You're right there.
Yeah, but what he's probably thinking is if he runs to it, if he chases it, Sancho takes it.
Come on.
But I'm not saying that was the right decision. What I'm saying is he's not thought, oh, I can't be bothered. What he's thinking is, this is the best decision. I'm going to stand.
It's not the best decision, though, and that's what I'm saying.
No,
how can you think
the decision making is letting him down?
How can you think that's the best decision? How can that possibly be the best decision? But you're making yourself smaller and giving him an angle to shoot. You're not going to engage him. He's got the whole goal to aim at. It's poor from Van Dijk, and as imperious as he is, that is the part of his game that gets criticized. At times, he's way too lax. He doesn't engage. And there are some moments where you have to engage as a defender.
It was the entire game, no Toads. It was the entire game. He was making mistakes that we don't see Van Dijk make. It was, but then it is. You know, everyone's allowed an off day. Of course they are.
Yeah.
But
he's had an off. He's
had an off start to the season, though.
Exactly. And Gomez coming into the team yesterday. I like Gomez. He's a good player, but mate, he was bad as well. They were
all bad.
Yeah,
I tell you who else was bad was Alisson. Alisson for the first goal, completely sold. Goes the other way, opens it up completely for Sancho. And in fact, the replay, you see Bruno pointing. He's like, "You've got all this space."
He mugged Milner off, who was getting up and screaming in Van Dijk's face, and so many players got fooled by that, and no one, he had a chance to dance around. And when I see it, I thought, he's taking too many touches. Sancho, he should have gone earlier. I thought like he's fucked it, and then lo and behold, everyone's just either on the floor or just standing there watching him and allowing him to take that shot. It was crazy. Like Liverpool had a chance to come back into it, and some real shithousery from Bruno there, slowing the game down. What a prick! I mean, you love it if it does it for you, but that is, oh my god, grabbing the ball, running away with it, all of this stuff, diving, falling down.
That dive was horrendous. I
can't stand him, man. I can't stand him. I
dive was atrocious.
It was. I hate all this. I hate all this stuff. all this stuff from Bruno, it's just I can't stand it, man. It just
Klopp
does my head.
said that basically, like, you know, the reason they didn't win is because, like, Man United ran the time down. They didn't get enough time in the game. The time didn't get added
my
on
God.
and all of that
He's starting
stuff.
to do my head in, Klopp now.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
excuses.
and me. Yeah,
I'm
without
getting
a doubt.
annoyed with him now when the pitch is too dry. And what did he say about Conte
Yeah, but
last
it's what
season?
managers
You
do all
play
the
like that.
time. This is like
Oh.
OG Jose Mourinho. Every time Chelsea lose a game, he'd say something in the media, so the attention just drops.
Yeah, but there's something
Klopp's just doing
about
it
the
again.
way Klopp does it that's different
I
to
agree.
Jose.
No, it's
Like,
because he's
Klopp-
even more
Klopp is just
shameless
obnoxious
about
with it.
it. He will
He's
blame
salty.
everything in mind,
salty,
but it's
man.
because the focus goes straight to Klopp. It happens all the time.
yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I like about like Pep Guardiola. He'll big up the players. He bigs them up like the other team. The other team's players like, yeah, they played well. They're a good team. You know what I mean? We found it difficult. That's how the game goes. Like,
Yeah, he did
you know
that
what I
against
mean? So-
Newcastle. Yeah, he did that with
yeah,
Newcastle.
it's like he's like, we're not playing by ourselves. Like Newcastle were good. Give them credit. Like that's, you know what I mean? You can respect that. Like, but the way Klopp does it when he talks about the grass or the wind or all of this shit, it's just
It pisses you off, but then you're not focusing on the performance. You're focusing on Klopp, and that's what he wants.
Yeah, but like he can say that all
Fair,
he
yeah.
likes, but he's still his team, who's supposed to be competing for another title, have still got 2 points. And like West Ham and that, like we can go these 3 games right without winning, and then try and like Arsenal did last season, and then get back into Europe. That title race is so tight. Like every point is crucial, absolutely crucial. Especially when you're going against Man United, you've got to be so on point. And you know what I mean, to get 2 points from their first 3 for Liverpool is really bad, and they've got
Yeah,
to
I
turn it
agree.
around quickly. Spend some money, man. Like you're
They
Liverpool.
won't know. They won't know Lawless. That's what they do, isn't it? Like they've identified where they need to strengthen, but they won't do it till next summer. That's their transfer policy, isn't it?
just
And I don't think
writing
it's right.
off, yeah, they're
It has been
writing off-
weird. It has been weird, Liverpool. Like they've never gone and done that, have they? I know they spent a lot of money on Darwin Nunez. They spent a lot of money on Van Dijk and Alisson, but they haven't gone and done a Chelsea or a City. And even what United do when they were at the top, Liverpool put themselves in a position where they could have done that. Now, I'm not saying that would have worked, but players like Jude Bellingham, I'm surprised they haven't tried to get more over the line. That player for me would be a fantastic
Well, they're
signing.
waiting
Yeah.
for him
Somebody
next
that's gonna
season.
come in
Apparently.
Next season, yeah, Lawless is right. Next
That's,
season,
every
yeah.
time they identify a player for next season, it's always like, yeah, we're going to get him next year. We're going to get him.
Yeah,
next
that's
year.
true.
And
Yeah.
then it's
I
like
do
by the
think-
time next year comes, they get that player, but then a hole's appeared somewhere else. So and then it's like, oh, we'll fill that hole next season. Like,
do
But
think
does
when
anyone
I-
think does anyone think Liverpool are not in a title race here?
it's still
'Cause I
too
think-
early. I
Of course
think
they're in the title race. Of course they
Yeah,
are.
there you go.
still too early.
But-
City always had slow starts, and they still managed to pull themselves up by Christmas.
Yeah. So
I just think it's looking a little bit more unlikely of them winning that title race.
Yeah,
It's
I agree with that.
impossible, but they've got
I
to
always
turn it
thought
around.
Man City were going to win it from the off anyway. But
Same, yeah.
I think with Liverpool, when you look at their team, they've actually got good depth in their attack and in
I
the
agree.
centre back, in the centre back spot, left back, etc. But the thing that I don't get with Liverpool is there's this reluctance for them to beef up their midfield. And when you look at the profile midfielders they have got so many sick notes in that team. Oxlade,
have, yeah.
Chamberlain, Naby Keita, and
Thiago.
Thiago's their starting midfielder, and he will miss like probably 40% of the games this season. So I don't know why they've not taken a look to sort of revamp that midfield and bring in at least one addition to that midfield that can add some real quality to the side and help link
Because
their midfield and
as
attack.
we said earlier about our teams, like what's Liverpool going to do when Champions League starts? You know,
Yeah.
and FA Cup.
Yeah.
He's going to be
They've got the
whinging
depth,
about
though.
fixtures
got the
like
depth.
crazy.
They've got the depth. They
certain
just need to get their
places,
players
but not
back
the
fit.
midfield. They ain't got midfield depth.
They do have
That's
midfield
what they're
depth. It's
really
just the midfielders just aren't that great.
All
But
they're
that's
injured.
not depth,
Oh,
is
they're
it? That's
injured.
not depth. Numbers
depth.
isn't depth. No, numbers. You got to have strength in depth.
Okay, yeah,
Strength
that's
in
different though.
depth.
We're talking about specifically depth.
We can all have numbers. Like we've got depth. If we just bring on a load of youth players, like we've got the academy full of players, and you can call it depth. But actual depth is like quality. Like this player can miss, and you can bring on another player and they slot in, and there's no issues. There's no dramas.
With
So
them,
it's just
they-
like, sorry,
Go
go
on.
on, Tate. No, go on, mate.
I was just going to say with them, it seems like they've got a if it ain't broken, don't fix it policy with their midfield. And I just
Yes.
don't get why. I don't really understand why. Like when you can clearly
Henderson and
see that
Milner
something,
still playing like mad.
yeah, like they're still thinking Jordan Henderson can do that that
Oh
right
my
number
God.
8 role that he was doing 2-3
He
years
was another
ago.
one who was
No.
awful, by the way. I
No,
thought.
like he's a good captain to have, and he's a good player to be a part of the squad. But his days as a starter shouldn't really be in 2022. You're looking
Yeah.
at the left side of the midfield, and you're looking at, we've spoken about Thiago, and who's the backup? Naby Keita, who also is injury prone, and now he's in the last year of his contract. He doesn't want to sign a new deal. They had apparently, obviously, Oxlade-Chamberlain is now injured now, but they had him fit throughout last season. Look to move him on. Like, 2 new midfield additions could have Liverpool looking could have their midfield looking like a completely different proposition.
But this is where
yeah.
United could fall foul, though, because everyone's gassed about Varane. I was, and I do. I think he's absolutely, he's class. But we know that Varane won't play a full season. Varane does have a tendency to pick up knocks and be missing for 5-6 games, and this is where United will struggle. Is the situation of Maguire will play a lot of football this season. He will. There's no doubt about that. It wouldn't surprise me if Varane plays another couple of games and he's out for a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and that's where we'll get hurt. I think exactly what Lawless said. Strength and depth is so fucking important, and it's something that a few teams aren't addressing. They just aren't addressing in the correct way, in the correct manner, and they're not spending the money to beef up that team, to make sure they've got people to slot right in. Teams that have won the leagues, who have gone on and done great things, have had people. If someone does go missing for 6-7 weeks with a hammy injury or anything like that, there's someone that comes straight in there and they're ready to go. They don't have to integrate them. They're ready to hit the ground running. So that's where I feel with that situation where Liverpool are struggling in midfield, that's where I think United could fall foul this season as well.
Do you think, though, Dan, United now will go? Do you think this Ten Hag situation will click? Or do you still feel like, wow, it's only one game, there's still a lot to do? Because there is, let's be real.
Yeah, no, look, at the end of the day, last night I was in dreamland. I woke up this morning and I was back to reality. This is going to be a long season for United. It is. It all depends, and I've heard you guys say it before, on what happens come the 1st of September. 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1st of September. It depends on who he does bring in. I've still got this real niggling feeling that United are going to get De Jong in. It's gone quiet with you lot, Lewis, hasn't it, with De Jong?
Apparently his agent posted an Instagram photo of him going past the bridge, but I'm not really trying to look too deep into that.
Yeah.
If De Jong wants to leave, he'll come to Chelsea. If he doesn't want to leave, he's going to stay at Barca, and I'm just tired of it going round and round in circles.
You should do. You're gonna do that thing that Arsenal fans did, where you look at the taxi and you see, is that that street? Look and get the map, Google Maps out. It's near Stamford Bridge.
No! Like it literally had the little, the Britannia Gate thing when you walk past the away end of the Chelsea logo.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm still not taking too much into it. Like,
we had that last night with De Jong because he liked Casemiro's video, didn't he, on the pitch? It's all hearsay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's probably agent.
It's so tiring. I'm bored of it. I'm so bored.
This is the most boring one for me, De Jong. Like, just leave or stay already. Like, it's so
and I'll tell you
embarrassing.
something. De Jong, whoever he goes to, be it United or Chelsea, if he does leave, he's got to have the season of his life, because the amount of hype that's been built up over these last couple of months, that guy has got to come and be absolutely immense, because people are going to be on him straight away.
I hear it, but he's been put in this situation.
Yeah,
he don't want to go. It's Barca trying to force him out. They're doing everything they can to make him want to leave the club. He don't want to go.
They can't play Koundé, can they, until they get rid of him?
Mm-hmm. And I think they're still trying to bring in Bernardo Silva or something like that. I don't know what's happening on that front. I know, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, man. Let's move on to Chelsea, Lewis. It's a nice little segue, man. You're linked with Aubameyang, Fofana, rumours of Anthony Gordon for 60 million. There's a lot of players that you're linked with, bro. What is going on?
I want to hear about this Anthony Gordon, Lewis. I need to hear your opinion on this, man, because it's mad to me.
60
I don't know
million,
what to tell you, man, innit? Like, Tuchel obviously wants him. He wants him enough that we're going to spend 60 million on him. He better be good. He better be good. I'm not going to sit here and try and blow smoke up everyone's ass to try and say, this guy's brilliant, he's going to be generational, all that crap. I don't know what we're doing. Like, he looks good. He's not crap. Let's be real. He's a good player.
Is he Chelsea good?
Lewis. It's 2 words, mate. English tax. That's all it is with Gordon.
Mhm.
There's no way he's worth that much money at all.
And if you look at his stats, he's just another presser. He's just another presser. Like, the potential's there. He's a decent dribbler, good crosser. It's not 60 million though.
But
Like,
even 30 mil, Lewis. If I look at it in terms of, is it a signing that you need to be making? Does it improve the team? Is this going to
it's
help?
a signing for the
push you on?
future. But we've done that. Like Chukwuemeka's come in, Casades come in. We're clearly looking at young prospects for the future, and I can accept that. Like, it's the first time Chelsea are actually looking at the long term. Fair enough. 60 million for Anthony Gordon, though. I don't understand it at all. I don't
It's
get
mental.
it.
I've seen the Everton fans, yeah, and they're like, fuck it. They're like, Everton, what the fuck are you doing rejecting 60 million for Gordon? Even they, it's not like when, when they got Richarlison for 60 mil, they was gutted when they sold Richarlison for 60 mil. They're like, Everton, why are you rejecting 60 mil for Gordon? It's
I don't
like,
think they have
Talk about
rejected. I
end
think-
product. He's got barely any end product. He scored 4 goals and 3 deflections. It's like it's the same thing.
I think
Lewis,
sorry,
go on,
go on, Manny Dan. Go on.
I was just going to say, it looks like in the next week you're going to spend around about 220 million if you get the players you want. That's a lot of money to spend in
And
this
it still
short
doesn't
time.
address all the issues we have. Because
Nowhere
none of
near.
them will be midfielders. Like
No.
De Jong, as far as I'm concerned, isn't joining Chelsea. Like I'm not gonna drink the Kool-Aid on that one. Like, you don't want to leave. Barca, I don't think are going to get rid of them. They can hold that. If they go bankrupt, it's a long-term win for us. Aubameyang might happen. Looks more likely. Looks like it's close. Fofana, we had a £70 million bid rejected. It's just like, bro, they want 80 million. Just fucking pay the 80 million if you're gonna let yourself buy an overpriced centre back. At least he's good. Like, he's a quality centre-back and it will sort out our back 5 and give me confidence for the cup competitions. But Chelsea, you know what the price is. Just pay up. Like, Leicester will not accept less than 80 million. They will happily keep him for another year. We're just longing the whole situation out because we need Fofana in. We need Aubameyang in. I don't know what Gordon brings to us, but whatever. And then we still need a creative outlet in attack, and we still need a creative outlet in midfield. So we're not going to address all the issues anyway, in spite of how much we spend. Is what it is, but just get the signings in and just hurry up because like this team looks like absolute dog shit right now. And if we'll go to the Leicester game and draw or do some bullshit. And Leicester, they won't let the deal happen until after the Leicester game either. Because it'd be
As you
stupid
say,
to let them go.
You've got Leicester and Southampton. Leicester and Southampton, isn't it? Next, you've got, and like that needs to be. You need to take 6 points, man. The way Leicester are playing, Southampton, to be fair to them, have impressed in the last couple of games for me because I really thought they'd struggle with goals, but they started to do well in the last couple. But listen, man, that Leeds performance that must worry you for the rest of this season, Lewis, with this team because even with players coming in, if that team starts playing like regularly, I don't know what you've got for your season because that looked so bad in parts. Like Leeds, fair credit to them, but Chelsea were poor, man.
I already said it, bro. If the window closed right now, we ain't making top 4. It's as simple as that. There's not enough areas that we've strengthened right now, and it just got painfully exposed. Like the midfield, utterly atrocious. I hope Tuchel said that he was happy with the midfield just because he didn't want to get overpriced if he goes into the window for one. Because if he actually likes the midfield that we have, I'm really starting to look at him differently for that. Because our midfield is atrocious. We've got one DM. We've got our 2 best 8s who are injury prone. They both literally substitute themselves in and out of the medical room all season. Gallagher isn't good enough for a double pivot. Ruben Loftus-Cheek isn't good enough for a double pivot. And our only DM depth in Gilmore, Tuchel wants to loan out. The attack, I've spoken about the attack for years. They are absolute wank. Havertz is just dog shit. He's just shit. Mount, like his decision making has been an issue for ages, but I'm starting to run out of patience with him too. Sterling, like, I can't judge Sterling. It's too early for him. But he's just come into a sea of shit, and I've already said he's not going to stand out in the attack unless we get better reinforcements.
Do you think he should be playing there, though? Sterling is a false 9. Yeah. What is that? Is that, like, surely that's not right, man. There's a few positions. Thomas Tuchel. What's going on?
Sterling in the middle or Havertz in the middle? Like,
yeah, obviously that's not going to run with Aubameyang inside, is it? Like that's not going to happen. Aubameyang signs, like then Sterling will never play there again, theoretically.
Yeah,
I just
like
feel
all
like-
we need is just more additions because Sterling is the only one that guarantees his place in the starting lineup. I've already said like Mount, Havertz, Mendy need to be dropped for the next game because those three know their positions will never get taken from them, regardless of how poorly they play. And they were three of the worst players on the pitch against Leeds United, and it's complacency. Mendy, I already said,
you drop Mount for that because it's obvious. Havertz, probably you're saying Broyos should start, yeah. So who
if he comes back from injury, so I don't know
is
if
he
he's
still
back
injured?
yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
who do you start for Mount then? Who do you want to play?
Maybe put Gallagher in the front three because he does his best work in the final third. He shouldn't be playing as a 6 in a pivot. It makes absolutely no sense. We had Matt Law say that Tuchel thinks that Gallagher has the closest profile to N'Golo Kante, and I was like, what? What are you talking about?
He doesn't.
And then we saw him in the double pivot for Jorginho, and it was like, okay, so you clearly see that it just doesn't work. He is the closest to Mason Mount, and if we're playing Mount in the front three, Gallagher goes in there then for me. That makes way more sense. But the whole thing was just an absolute car crash. At the back, like, I can't say anything about the back three because, like, Fofana has to come in. But Koulibaly, like, for an experienced centre-back, he let us down massively on Sunday.
From hero to zero, mate.
Very cheap yellow cards. And then the goalkeeper, Mendy's already been on soft watch, but that was disgraceful. And it absolutely set the tone for the game. It added more pressure onto us from Leeds. And then they scored 5 minutes after that and killed the game. It's just fucking stupid performances all round from Chelsea. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Speaking of players, who you got in the backup to your keeper for Mendy? Like, if Mendy kept doing that madness and you was like...
It's Kepa. And I don't want Kepa to be our number one. Yeah, he ain't gone nowhere. No one wants him. We put him up for 30 million and nobody wanted him.
What a surprise. What a surprise. Nobody wants Kepa.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that either, but I still want Kepa starting against Leicester just because Mendy can't be complacent about his spot. He needs to know that he can be replaced. Even if Kepa isn't going to be the perfect answer to all of our issues, at the very least, he ain't going to have that bozo moment Mendy had for the first goal. He can at least play out the back.
Yeah, and then he'll play you into trouble and then we'll get buried by a shot straight at him.
Mendy ain't been all that this year either, so it's like, what do we do?
Yeah, he hasn't, but he's miles better than that bum, Kepa.
Mendy has been terrible since the Carabao Cup final. He's been terrible.
You know,
I think people are too harsh on Kepa, man. I think Kepa, he's had these moments.
No,
Kepa's
got Poppadom wrists. Let's be real about it.
He's terrible, Lawless.
Yeah.
He's been awful.
Awful.
Do you not think the price tag is what?
No, it's not. No,
because he had a good first season for us.
The same thing.
Yeah, he did. He had a good first season.
No, he didn't have a good first season.
No. He had a good first season for us.
He didn't have a good first season. Are we just making stuff up here, people?
Why didn't he? Come on, back your chat, Tobes.
Yeah,
he made mistakes, bro. He literally made one against. He made like 2 against us, bro, in one match. What am I hearing here?
2 mistakes.
What are you not saying?
Which game are we talking about?
The 3-1. The 3-1
at Wembley.
At Wembley. Yeah. Did you not see the goal Harry Kane scored?
Yeah, but didn't that take a deflection off Louise?
No, it didn't.
Louise was the one who had the sting.
There's even a goal. I remember there was a goal.
3 goals were his fault.
There was a goal. Paul Pogba. I think it was a Paul Pogba header straight at him, or Paul Pogba Martial straight at him, and chocolate wrist. He lets it into the back of the net. Are we just allowed to say stuff here?
No. Sure. Like, I'll be real. There was some aspects where, like, the long shot issue came into play a little bit.
Bro. I'll even find the stats.
It was nowhere near as bad as his second season. His second season, that was fucking atrocious. Kepa had good moments for us and bad moments.
His first 2 years, I think he had something like he was like the worst save percentage of
second season. The second season, worst save percentage. First season, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't that bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Kepa was saving us in games at certain points. No. The thing with Kepa, people will laugh when they hear this about Kepa.
Oh my!
But he had a decent first season with us. Then he broke up with his childhood missus, and then his form went in the bin for the rest of the season. Suddenly, gets a new missus. Actually looks decent for us in phases last season. So I think it's issues at home with him personally, even though he does have his issues on the pitch with his wrists and long shots and all of that anyway. Isn't Chelsea quality, but the way Mendy's playing, I can't keep justifying him starting games for us. I can't.
He's crap, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
He did
Kepa's
Men-
pick up the
I don't
arse
rate
from
Kepa, but
Kepa.
Trash be
Mendy
garbage
deserves.
right now.
Mendy has been terrible, man. There's like a reel on YouTube of all of his mistakes. And do you know what? Some of his mistakes don't even lead to goals. It's just passing out at the back has just been shocking. Some of the saves he's made, fair play, he's got some credit in the bank. But I don't know. I'm starting to question how great this goalkeeper is, if I'm honest, because it ain't the first time we've seen this. So, yeah, it's an interesting one for Chelsea. What do? Swap a poor goalkeeper for another poor goalkeeper. That is basically what it is.
At least do like what Ten Hag did with De Gea. Like, all right, no playing out the back for a while. You're on playing out from the back suspension, like, and just try and get him to do just basic stuff that's not going to put the team under pressure. Maybe go back to basics. Maybe try that if he
Maybe
can't
that would
drop
work. Because like his playing out the back was actually good when Tuchel first joined. Like last couple months of 2021 was decent, and then just went back to being absolutely terrible, and it got worse and worse. But I already said this season to me, like Mendy has to prove himself again. He had one good season for us and one bad season. So now it's like, cool. Now I need to see what you're actually made of. But it's the same thing for a lot of players. And right now, none of them are proving themselves. We started the season poorly. Don't take the Tottenham game into account because, like I said, Tottenham were not going to show up at Stamford Bridge. And we dominated them because of the fixture and because of the mental block. We were poor against Everton. We ended last season poorly. We had a poor preseason and we were terrible against Leeds. It's up to players to pull themselves out and to put confidence back in the rest of the fans because I ain't confident looking at this squad.
And it's up to your manager as well. It's up to your manager to make the right decisions with your squad and stop misprofiling players. I do think both sides need to pull their finger out here, and then in the window as well, just sign players that are genuinely going to improve your team. Right now, I'm looking at the signings that you're rumored to make, and Fofana is the only one who I can actually see coming into this team and giving you a significant uplift.
They want 80 mil in it. I don't think they're going to get Fofana for 80
No,
mil.
they'll go for it.
If they can pay 70 million, why can't they pay 80? They'll get it.
They'll get him. They'll get him.
We know what's going to happen here.
I think they'll definitely get Fofana and Aubameyang. I think they'll definitely get Fofana and Aubameyang.
Is that enough, though? Is Fofana and Aubameyang enough? It definitely.
Don't know, Lewis. What do you think?
We still need creativity, but like with the limited chance that we make, I would rather Aubameyang at the end of it than Kai Havertz. So I will take Aubameyang every day of the week personally, and it might get the best.
What's it going to be like when you? What's it going to be like when you need more from Aubameyang outside of the goal scoring? When you're playing those games where you need Aubameyang to help you facilitate or maintain control of a football game, or when he's outside the box and you need a bit more from your number 9, like what then? Because those are the issues that your fans didn't like about Lukaku when he's not.
With Lukaku, it started becoming an agenda thing very, very quickly. And I believe this fan base also has Lukaku PTSD, and now they just want some roadrunner who runs around for 90 minutes. You can accommodate for one person in the middle that does impress if the other players are able to do the job for them, and the guy in the middle takes his chances and scores. So for me, Aubameyang's job would be very simple, and it would just be score goals. Our best period of the last season was when Lukaku was in the squad. In spite of his lack of pressing, we were still creating from the wing backs. So, like, it doesn't matter about Lukaku. It's just this fan base will just cuss out everything to do with him now because he's a rat. So they won't take into account everything. It was just Lukaku was to blame. Lukaku was to blame. And it's like
that part I get. That part I get. I'm just saying that with Aubameyang, you take him with his strengths and his weaknesses. Potts knows more than ever with Arsenal. There were times where Aubameyang isn't scoring, and when he's not scoring, he doesn't have much of an impact on the game. And I feel like those areas is where a team like Chelsea, you would need someone who can be more involved in the game of football outside of just taking chances.
See, I hear this, but our other option is Kai Havertz, who's done jack shit since Porto. So it's like,
trust me, you don't need. You're preaching to the choir when it comes to Kai Havertz, but. Boy.
But that's our only other option. Like we're saying, if you want someone who's in the middle who's going to do more, we already don't have that.
Bro,
so at the very least, someone who's there who could at least score goals.
Why didn't you go for Memphis? But anyway, sorry, that's it for me.
Depay, I would take every day of the week. I agree. If anything, I've heard Juve's drop their interest in him now, and they're going for Milik. So if we actually went for him, I'd be all for it. Could play all through the front three, and he has better link-up play. Better dribbling, he'd be able to involve himself more in build-up play. I completely agree. But from the looks of it, Tuchel wants Aubameyang. From what sources are saying, he thinks Aubameyang is the perfect striker for his system. So it's like, all right, cool. Bring him in and let's see what he does. It can't be any worse than what we already have.
Lewis, are you feeling confident for top 4 to round us up?
Depends on the window. Depends on the window. I can't say anything until the window's closed. The window closes right now, no. If the window closes when the window closes, if we've at least got Fofana in and we've sorted out our back 5, I could be a little bit more confident. We get a striker in, I'm a little bit more confident. But it all depends on the window. I can't say anything right now.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Listen, last couple of comments. One of them's a super chat. One of them's a comment coming from the Invincible Gunner. Thanks for your super chat, bro. Much appreciated. It says, big up, Dan. This show is absolutely immense. It says, Dan, do you think Arsenal would sign a player before the end of the transfer window? If we go for which one player you reckon we should be added to the team? Listen, I think it's looking highly likely that it's going to be either Pedro Neto or Tielemans, but I don't even know enough to say that we're going to get either of them at the moment. I think it will be a shock, if I'm honest, and we'll just go in and get someone that we're not even heard of now if we're going to get anyone at all. And the last comment of the night to finish on, tell Lawless we will see him in the relegation show soon. What a great way to end the show, people. Lawless getting stick in the chat. But big up to yourself. Big up to all the panel. Big up to everybody for listening. Thank you all for watching. Also on the audio, we've had well over 500 people watching live. Still got well over 500 people watching live. Fantastic numbers as well. Please smash a like. Please follow everybody on socials. Everybody's channels in the description. Please come and support the guys. Follow their content. And we're going to see you next week after a couple of games to discuss. So we will be back then. Until then, take care of yourselves and up the Arsenal. Take care, guys.